Today we are going to start a new topic, that is reflection of sound, echo. What happens when you throw a ball on a wall? Yes, it hits the wall and bounces back. Same is the case with sound waves. As sound travels, it hits things in its path and bounces back. This phenomena is called reflection of sound or echo. To hear an echo, the original sound and the reflected sound should have a gap of at least 1/10 of a second or a time interval of at least 0.1/5 of a second. If two sounds occur within 1/10 of a second, you will not hear them as separate sounds. This is because the human ear cannot distinguish sounds if they are not separated by 1/10 of a second. Such sounds will be a noise to human ear. So, an echo can be heard only if you are 17 meters or 55 feet away from the surface that reflects the sound. Next we come to the applications or uses of sound or echo. We have studied that echo is a reflection of sound. So echoes are used to find objects underwater, and this is called echolocation. So echo sounding is used to measure the depth of water in a water body. What we have to do? We have to send the ultrasounds in water. Then ultrasound reaches the bed of water body, and then they reflect back from the bed of the water body. So the depth of water can be calculated from the time taken by sound to travel back and the speed of sound in water. So another use of echo sounding is in medical industry. Ultrasound imaging uses sound waves to produce pictures of the inside of the body. It is used to help diagnose the cause of pain, swelling, and infections in the body's internal organs, and to examine a baby in pregnant women, and also the brain and hips in the developing or growing fetus. Next is absorption of sound. You know very well that sound waves travel and hit any hard surface and reflect back, but some part of them is always absorbed. If you are in an empty room, then your voice will echo. Do you know why? Because there is no soft or porous material. So if the room is properly furnished, means it has curtain, carpets, wooden furniture, cupboards, clothes, etc., then it will not echo. So such soft materials or porous substance are used to absorb the sound. These are also used to cover the walls of auditoriums. Why? Because we want that the sound should be absorbed. It should not reflect back. So the next topic is, how do we make sounds? Human beings have an organ called larynx or the voice box, which is involved in the production of sound. It is situated at the upper end of the windpipe in the neck region. Across this voice box, there are thin membrane which are stretched over it. These are called vocal cords. So, when air is forced through these vocal cords, they vibrate to produce sound. We can do one activity to feel vibrations of vocal cords. We can sit or stand near one of our friends, keeping our neck straight. Then we can stretch the first 4 fingers of one hand and keep them over the front part of our neck. Then we can ask our friend also to do the same. Now we can talk to each other without removing our fingers from our neck. Now what do we feel? We will feel the vibrations. So vibrations are felt only while talking. Vibrations in vocal cords produce sound. So, muscles are attached to these vocal cords. These muscles contract and relax, making these vocal cords tight or loose, thus enabling us to produce different types of sound. Vocal cords in the children are small, and in the adults, the sound produced by women have higher frequency than the sound produced by men. Or we can say the vocal cords of men are longer than that of women and children, so their voices are different. Women produce shrill sound and the sound produced by men is dull. Also, the volume of the sound produced by humans is controlled by increasing and decreasing the amount of air passing through the vocal cords that comes from the lungs.